Hi, how are you? I'm Robin. Welcome back or welcome to my YouTube channel. This little world right here is Man for Himself. If you like men's hair product reviews, grooming, skincare, fragrance, and videos like this one, then you're gonna love this channel. Seriously, please do press subscribe right now. Okay, back in April, I did a 5 long men's hairstyles to try in 2020, and I decided to do another one. There are so many guys who have been growing their hair out, and that's due to obviously lockdown restrictions. A lot of us are now coming out of that or are out of it. Congratulations. And so many of us have got longer hair. Exhibit A right here. Still don't know what I'm doing with it, but through looking at these various celebs and seeing what they've done with their hair, it's given a bit of an inspiration. So I've got 5 of these guys right here. Now, if you've not seen the first video, I'm gonna call that version 1. Then I will put it up there and also in the description. And also all of these guys plus more, 71 to be exact, 71 guys on the Man for Himself Hairstyle directory. That was catchier in my head. The Man for Himself Hairstyle directory, it is right there. On there it will tell you how to achieve these styles, what to ask your barber, and the hair products to use. From the first video that I did, I had so many of you guys saying, I can't believe you've forgotten this guy. This guy literally is the personification of long hair, and that is Jason Momoa. He is Aquaman, he is Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones, and he literally, you can't imagine him with shorter hair. He did have short hair when he was younger, but he just looks so effortlessly cool with this. Now, this is all about one long length all over. It's all about working with texture. So the type of products that you'd want to go for are things like sea salt sprays. You also want to maybe be looking at things with slightly more conditioning treatments. I mean, you can see in the first picture of him here, it looks fairly dry actually and not in fantastic condition. But you then look at the other pictures of him and his hair looks big, it looks bouncy, it looks wavy. But what you want to be doing in here is going into your barber, showing a picture on manforhimself.com and just saying you want a 1 length layer. Then with the styling, you can work with that center part or moving it around slightly, adding a little bit of sea salt spray into damp hair. Let dry naturally. That's going to give you more of this kind of like, it's kind of crispy but beach-like effect. Or you can work with a hairdryer, low heat, low speed, and that will just smooth the hair out. Also, he's got an ombre dye. An ombre is when it's slightly darker and it works down to something lighter. The pluses of this are when it grows out, you're not going to have heavy roots because you already have the roots. So I love his hair. I think it looks really good, but I would say get some conditioning treatments in there too. No one wants crispy hair. Okay, another effortlessly cool guy is Bruno Mars, and he's shown what you can do with a big afro. Now, long hair isn't just about shoulder length hair or beachy waves, it's about working with what you've got. And Bruno Mars, like, he is seriously cool. When I worked on the X Factor many moons ago, I remember we had a live performance from Bruno Mars and he was just like, you know when someone walks into a room and you just kind of walk with them with your eyes? He is like that. His style's kind of retro. He works with big flared collars, big blazers, kind of flared, I mean, how many times can I say flared? Big wide leg trousers. And he also does street style really well. And his afro just looks so great. Now, top tip, go and see someone who specializes with Afro-Caribbean hair, someone that really understands how to cut it and what you need. Don't just go to any old backstreet barber because they're not going to know what your hair needs. In terms of kind of products, you could go for something which is slightly shorter, just keep it in really good condition, or you can grow it out and you're going to work with a brush just to really work into that afro and to pick the hair up. Products sort of wise on this, it's all in the conditioning, so overnight treatments, also maybe a little bit of shea oil, anything really just to keep that hair in good condition and not to dry it out. But again, we've got some great product choices on manforhimself.com. We go out, find the best prices and help you guys out. So that is all there. And also a bit about how to style it right there. Okay, from Jason to Bruno to Joe. Joe looks great. I first saw him in True Blood where he played Alcide, who was a werewolf, and he's just, I mean, he has an incredible body, a great face. He was also in Magic Mike, but his hair just always looks good. It's more of a mid-length really than that traditional longer length, but it just looks so great. He leaves it really quite natural with a center part, even with like a bandana, which maybe isn't for everyone there, and the hair just kind of comes over the top. But for this, really, it is fairly low maintenance. You'd go for a haircut maybe every 6 to 8 weeks just to cut off those ends, to keep it all coming in right, really to focus in and around the ears and down here. I mean, mine is quite a similar length there, but this looks super cool for him. And type of products, if you've got fine to thin hair, then you might want to give it a boost. So something like a thickening tonic, you could be using a Veda thickening tonic or Bumble and Bumble Go Big treatment. And also in terms of styling, using a light creamy product. The molding cream by Moroccanol would work really well. Just something really light into the hands and work through root to tip, really focusing more on those ends. Or you could even do what he's done here, which is a more formal red carpet style. You can see his grey coming in here on the beard, and just with that hair, he looks cool, even with this grey. I mean, more so with this grey, I would say. For this more formal style, this would work well with a pomade. So for me, I'm all about a water-based pomade, something like the Semi-Sumo, which is more like a wax pomade. You could also use American Crew pomade. And you just work it into your hands and work through the length of the hair. Let to set, or you could even get a hairdryer in just to really ensure that that hair stays where you want it. But I think he looks cool. I think this is like a solid look. Now, one which I think doesn't work. I want to give you a bit of an example of something which I just don't think is quite right. And that is Chris Pine. Now, this was him at the premiere for his TV show last year in 2019. And Chris Pine has always had this kind of sweep back. He's got a great face. And I just think the sweep back sort of works better for him. It's a more formal style. It's more defined. This just really accentuates his large forehead. And I don't think it's very flattering at all. The ombre, so again, the ombre, slightly dark at the roots, coming out to something lighter, is young and it's fresh, but I don't think it suits him. I almost think it's too young. And with his look, I think that more sort of refined and formal look works best for him. But it's just hair, and hair is all about experimentation, so thumbs up to Chris. But someone who I think has done this center parting really well and has actually taken it slightly further is Keanu Reeves. Now, this is about the same length as Chris Pine's, but what they've done is they, being either his stylist or him, which I highly doubt, is just to really load the hair with product and to load it with a really thick, heavy product. Now, if you saw my video, which was hair products I hate, then I did say like I hate grease and I hate anything. I'm sorry if you are a greaser. You look cool. I just don't with that, and it just doesn't work for me in my lifestyle. I like to change it up. But they have loaded his hair with product. So it's got this wet look. It's got a great solid hold. They've quite literally just taken the product, got it into the hands, and worked straight through root to tip. And then it even looks like they've got a comb just to really define that. If you wanted to keep it slightly less formal, then you could just use the hands just to sweep down. But I really, really like this style. Again, this is kind of quite a similar length to Joe's hair. And it's all about just keeping that trim and keeping it neat. You can also see here that beards work really well with any sort of hair type, but I think they especially look good with longer hair. Anything from Jason with that thick and full beard, Joe with his graying salt and pepper beard, or Keanu Reeves here, I think it's so refined and it looks so great on guys. Now the final one is Austin Butler. Now Austin Butler has got these model good looks. He looks incredible, and he is such the poster boy for this sort of California beach waves. He looks great with blonde hair. He has had darker hair. He's had it for different roles, and as you'll see here actually, which is another entry on the Man for Himself hair directory, he's got black hair with loads and loads of texture. I think the dye is maybe just a little too heavy for his face. I think with his light features and his blue eyes, the blonde hair works perfectly. Now, this is a one length all over. Again, this is all on here. Go into what to ask your barber and it'll say long length all over, same length all over, scissor cut, visit your barber regularly. Now, with longer hair, it's important to keep it in good condition. Don't think that just because you've got long hair, you can leave it. Have regular trims just to cut off any dead ends or any sort of tangles. Make sure that you're using an oil every so often, maybe even once or twice a week, especially at night, just to keep that hair conditioned. If you leave it too long, then you are sort of moving into an area that might just get a little bit tuggy and a little bit sore, and No one wants to get to that. In terms of styling with this, again, you could do something like a sea salt spray. I mean, I'm just such a poster boy for the sea salt spray. I just think they work so well. Or you could use something like Fat Boy's styling cream or Fat Boy putty, just getting it into the hands and working through. But again, use the pre-styling phase, so ahead of styling, to decide what your hair needs. Does it need conditioning to remove frizz? Does it need a boost to add a bit of thickening to it? So use a pre-styler. You'll see those all on the product pages on manfromself.com, and then go into the styling and just keep this loose and keep it light. Other products on here, yeah, this one, Bumble and Bumble Surf Foam. I love it. For me, that is a bit of a hybrid. It's a hybrid between a mousse. A mousse provides great rigid volume, which can tend to get a bit crispy, and the sea salt adds the texture. So these combine really well to create this foam to get into the hair and to let it dry naturally, which again will give it something which is really highly textured. Or you could use your hands and a hairdryer just to smooth it out, but also maybe just to sort of crumple and crease the hair to add all that texture. He looks great. Honestly, if I could have any face, then do you know what, actually? I'd probably have any of these faces. I'll take any of these guys. And if you are looking for sort of celebrity hairstyles, it's sometimes easier when we look at celebrities because you see how they move, you see how they hold themselves, and you see kind of how their hair works. There is a celebrity tag on the hairstyle directories. Go in there, you can see what they've done. And it's also quite nice to kind of see some of their older hairstyles versus their new hairstyles. But they are all right there. Also face shape. If you're looking for something for your particular hair shape, it will be right there. But thank you very much for watching. Really hope you've enjoyed this one. The hairstyle directory will be linked down there. That tells you what to ask your barber and how to style it at home. Also with any other recommendations that you might be looking for. Really is a bit of an inspiration for you. A hairstyle Bible. Also, if you're still new to this, you're still wondering who I am, then hi, I'm Robin. This is still Man for Himself. Please do press subscribe right now. The button is there. Also, more video suggestions down there. Stay with me and watch them. A direct link to the hairstyle directory is there. Also, more links, more videos, the first one up in the cards with my Instagram and the new Instagram, Man for Hair. Loads of inspiration right there. But until my next new video, bye-bye.